know people are wanting to make the best use of their pastures all summer long. And can you recommend what we can do for pastures now in the springtime so that horse owners can rely on them more throughout the season, throughout the whole summer to meet their horses' forage needs?
Wonderful question. And that has to do with the fertility of the soil. And so we need to be taking some soil analysis, sending it into the soils lab to find out the pH of the soil. Very similar to the pH of the hindgut of the horse. If the pH drops low, the fertility drops with it. And so ideally, the pH of the soil needs to be between 6.5 and 7.0 to optimize nutrient absorption of the plant. So number one is I know the majority of the area across Canada is we need to be adding some lime because it's all acid soils. Once we get the pH up to 6.5 to 7, then you can start adding fertilizer. But until that time comes, you're really wasting your money on adding fertilizer because only a fraction of it will be available at a low pH. And the lower the pH, the less fertilizer is available to the plant and the more money you're wasting. So lime should be put on in the spring and the fall because it takes about 6 months for the soil to change pH. And so if we put on the lime in the fall for what we want to use in the spring, and we'll put on in the spring for what we want to use in the fall, right? So if the lime, for instance, if you need to add 4 ton of lime to the acre, if that's what the laboratory requests, then put 2 ton on in the spring and 2 ton on in the fall. And the laboratory will give you those results once you tell them what you're growing and how many ton you want to grow per year. So then they will also tell you what fertilizer is necessary, how much phosphorus, how much potassium, how much nitrogen you need to be adding to attain the tons that you want to grow. Normally on pastures where we have 1 horse per every 2 acres, then we want to grow at least 4 ton per acre. We want to fertilize for 4 ton of forage per acre. Give you an idea of then, depending on what's in your soil, as to how much fertilizer we'll need to be putting on. And on that, if you could do that in the spring, summer, and fall would be better. So take your total pounds per acre and divide it by 3. The springtime to help keep your plant healthy, summertime to keep it growing healthy, and in the winter to help it or in the fall to help it go into winter in healthy condition and reduce the amount of winter kill. Okay. So fertilizer is extremely important in keeping that plant healthy. You can't expect your horse to stay healthy if he's eating an unhealthy plant. And so every horse owner needs to become an agronomist as well, because they have to understand the pH of the soil and they have to understand the nutrients the plant needs to grow healthy. So what we want to do is keep that plant, once it comes down to 3 inches in length, where you can start seeing the hooves, it's time for that pasture to be rested. Don't wait until it's down to a 1/2 inch and there's nothing out there to eat. Then the plant is stressed and the chances of it dying is increased, and then you're going to lose your forage. So as soon as it gets down to 3 inches, it's time to pull the horses off and let it regrowth back to 6 inches tall. before turning them back onto it. So the time then is to pull the horses off, have your mower that's set at 6 inches, top all the weeds, and then move your horses on to another pasture. And if you can rotate your pastures, those are ideal with temporary fencing. So you always keep a consistent pasture out there. That greatly reduces the chance of digestive upset because they're continually eating similar forages all through the spring, summer, and fall. And that's the best way to do it if you have enough acreage to do it for your horses. But on an average, it's going to take in your area about 2 acres per horse per year if you're not going to feed any hay in addition to that.